No, that's not the one. Well, anyways, you get the concept. So like, I was like spending a lot of money, and then I chased that mythic rank, and I played. I mean, to the detriment of my own like income generating ability. I was like not streaming. I was just outside playing Magic for like 2 weeks. I finally got mythic, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with Magic. I just stopped playing after that.
Oh, it'll get you back. It'll
Diablo Immortal, similarly.
No, I'm gonna play the 40k game when it comes out. Very second. New trailer for it came out today. If you haven't seen it, everybody should go look at it. The new Dark Tide trailer, very cool looking. They give you a lot of like nitty gritty 4K background, which that's the kind of shit that gets me hard. Like exposing a broader audience to the lore of 40k, because the more people who know about it, the more people who will be into it, and the more like mainstream products will get made, like TV shows and movies and like AAA games. Because that is one of the coolest universes ever. It's sci-fi and fantasy. He's trying to
get that made. He's trying to get a 40k like TV show made. Yeah,
who's trying to do that?
Henry Cavill, and then also like Red Dead. He wants to try to get Red Dead made as well. And so he's fighting the good fight for the game.
Good. That's awesome.
Didn't he left The Witcher after being like, because I know he was obsessed with like the story of The Witcher and everything going in, and then he left because like he didn't like the direction they were going. So
reportedly.
But if that's the truth, like I've got a lot of confidence in this guy, like pushing for 40k, like pushing for all this stuff, because he'll want to like hold true to like the fucked up world of 40k.
Yeah, I thought season 1 was really good, and then season 2 kind of lost me. I stopped watching, but I heard of all the complaints I hear about the Witcher show, of all the complaints that I hear, I never hear people complain about him. Like,
he's a good actor. And like what watching The Witcher, it was one of those shows that I was like, God, I want to like this. This is such a cool world. I want to like this. But then a monster would pop up, or some bit of dialogue with nothing but like ham-handed exposition comes up, and it's like, we are in this awesome world with nothing but potential, and it's being hamstrung by nonsense. Like, come on, like that's the swamp monster.
Yeah,
it looks like a Scooby-Doo guy, like wearing a hat. It looks terrible.
See, I really want to get your thoughts on Rings of Power.
I haven't watched that. I've watched.
We refuse to watch.
You're lost.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy to have lost out on it.
I haven't thought about it at all. I'm only 3 episodes into House of the Dragon.
Me too.
Awesome.
I finished that. We love that.
It's almost like I'm hesitant to jump back. I don't want to be let down again.
No, it gets better.
Put your faith in that.
You haven't even gotten to the adult queen yet, or not really queen, but the adult princess yet, because you've still got the little girl princess, right?
Oh, she grows up.
I think I'm at the end. I think I'm at the end of that.
Like an episode begins, and now you've got a few people get recast, and you've got older versions of them, and it's important to get that Band-Aid off.
I think the show suffered a little bit because they do like a bunch of big time jumps, because they're trying to get you to, what is it, the Dance of the Dragons?
Dance of Dragons.
They're trying to get you to that war. So I understand that there was a necessity to move things along.
I'm fine with it now.
My issue with it thus far is this. Game of Thrones was about like this universe of houses fighting each other, the Lannisters, the Starks, the Tyrells, the Tullys, etc. And it was this giant land and across the narrow sea. House of the Dragon is more like Dallas, which is a drama TV show reference none of you will get, about one family feuding with itself. You know, who's going to get the inheritance? Who's going to get this? Who's going to get that? And I'm like, where's the fucking rest of this universe? Now, I'm only 3 episodes in, but I wish it was grander.
It does feel smaller and more, insulated than Game of Thrones. I understand.
Yeah, it's brother versus cousin versus dad.
So I think they're building up, I think, to that is what the thing is.
So I've seen the whole season. I'm not going to spoil anything, but this is one of those instances where there's a lot of yada, 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 and then there was a giant war where the greatest house of all fell low with their dragons fighting one another. And the yada, yada, yada is this first season, frankly, because there's a lot of...
They did
it's good.
Don't spoil, please.
Look,
be careful.
look,
I'm not going to spoil anything. I swear to God.
Look, I'm not saying it's not worth watching. It was tremendously good, and there's several episodes that are excellent. I would say it has 3 excellent episodes out of 10, and that's saying a lot. Matt Smith kills it. The guy who plays the king. I'm a little removed from seeing the show, but
Aegon.
Aegon kills it. The little girl kills it, and there's a creepy character who's like sort of the whisperer of secrets.
Mayor Pete, the guy who looks like exactly like Mayor Pete.
They got Pete Buttigieg in there, and I don't.
You guys know I love Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, he's in there. They got him guest starring, and he's like he's like a freaky fetishistic whisperer of lies.
He's only getting cooler.
He is very cool. He is maybe the lamest character I've seen in a show in a while. But no, I love to watch him. But
I'm into freaky, kinky shit.
I don't know. This is pretty pathetic. But no, I like the show a lot, and I'm glad that they lay out a lot. We need like 25, 30 years of history behind this. You need to know what happened when these people were children so that you know why they dislike each other as teenagers, and when they become adults, why they have to fight and kill each other. And you get all of that in season 1 so that this doesn't have to be 5-6 seasons before we get the big war. Like next season's the war.
That leads me into something it's going away, but I love, what do they call it? Binge watching. I'm sorry. I lost my mind for a moment. Binge watching is great. I have rewatched Better Call Saul and Game of Thrones, and they're both better in binge watch form. I remember complaining about the lack of plot progression. It's like one of my primary concerns. If we get 10 episodes this year, right? So we have 10 50-minute episodes, and that's it. I've been waiting a year for these things to come out. I'm very much invested, and here we are. Episode 6 drops, and I'm like, fuck yeah! I've been waiting all day long while I mowed the grass. I was thinking that tonight, I'm gonna watch this show. Hey, family, clear out. Daddy's got the projector room tonight. You know, y'all gotta find something else to do with yourself. I'm the fucking boss this hour. And then I sit down, and at the end of this hour-long show, I can tell you what happened in 13 seconds because nothing fucking happened. It was just a bunch of yada yada. But here's where I'm headed to. When you binge watch it and you get to watch like 3 episodes in a night, then that slow thing, if one of the episodes didn't quite deliver, it's fine. I enjoy the show so much more in binge form.
At least if you're going to do weekly episodes, if it is a slower episode, fucking give us the next episode. Have it be a 2-episode week. If you're going to do that, that would make that sting a little bit less. But like I'm watching Andor right now. I don't know if you guys are watching that show. And
I don't know this.
I haven't heard of it.
Okay.
Is it Star Wars?
You need to trust me on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to say something outlandish right now. Andor is the best content that we've ever gotten from Star Wars, and I'm including the original trilogy. I'm not fucking kidding.
Is that where the Ewoks are from?
No, it is
Disney Plus. I assume?
Cassian Andor is a character from Rogue One. It's Disney Plus, and it is about the grime and the grit in the dirt of the Star Wars universe. There's no Jedi. There's no magic. It's all politics, birth of the rebellion. The cast is terrific. It's like a spy espionage type angle to Star Wars, and it's unlike anything Star Wars has ever done. And I love Mandalorian, but I can kind of take it or leave it. It's like
so overrated.
I think it's a little overrated personally. I thought Boba Fett was bad. I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was bad, and Andor has blown me away. Just blown me away. And they do it in this really cool way too, because it's like all one season, but there are like these 3-episode arcs. So like the last 3 episodes is like a prison breakout, and so it's these self-contained sort of stories within.
Is it like a one-off miniseries?
Well, I don't know if you've seen Rogue One, but Cassian Andor dies.
No,
and
I haven't seen any of the Star Wars.
Rogue One is the best, according to me, the best Star Wars movie of them all.
It's
my
awesome.
very favorite.
I love it. The last 45 minutes is just like peak Star Wars.
I'm gonna spoil it a little bit.
Go for it. I don't care. I'm not.
Okay. I knew going into it that everybody dies.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, no, not everybody. Well, look, this person. They're making it. Everybody dies. Everybody dies in that movie. No one fucking lives. No one that you care about makes it out of Rogue One. And they give you hope here and there. No one makes it. And at the end, I loved it. I love shows that kill their characters. It's the strongest part of Walking Dead. No one's safe. Rick's fucking dead for all I know. Nobody is safe in that. When Game of Thrones killed Ned Stark, hooked. I'm like, if anyone had plot armor in season 1 of Game of Thrones, it was Ned Stark, right? The whole fucking show revolved around that guy.
The guy played Boromir, and it's like 2009, and it's like, oh, they got their fantasy guy. He'll be okay. Like, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I was devastated when he fucking died, and then it just made me so hooked to the show. Like,
but what it did is it made, at least in my heart, Jon Snow's not safe. Tyrion's not safe. Joffrey's not safe. Sansa's not safe. Nobody's safe, because if Ned Stark can die, anybody can die.
Yeah.
And when Rogue One delivered and killed everybody, I was like, best Star Wars movie ever made.
But Rogue One would have been better as a longer episodic series, because as much as I like Rogue One, I didn't get as attached to these characters in a meaningful way as I could have if I had learned more about them. They had to rush a lot of character development because they're all fucking dead at the end of the,
I agree.
At the end of the movie.
I think a TV show's
is made by the same team, Woody. It's made by the same fucking writing team. They brought on a lot of the people that worked on Chernobyl, which if you've ever watched that,
that's a great show.
Incredible.
That was like what made like Game of Thrones sucking dick at the end palatable, because HBO was like, we got a cool new show, and I was like, oh, fine, fuckers, I guess I'll watch this show.
The guy who wrote Chernobyl, Craig Mazin, is writing the Last of Us series that's rumored to come out in January.
Is that going to be a horror? I haven't played Last of Us.
Not necessarily horror, but more, like post-apocalyptic dystopian future, like Walking Dead style. I would, that's
in
like
my
similar
lifetime,
kind of vibes.
and maybe all of ours. I feel like the premier kind of like media content has changed from movies to TV. If you're telling me your whole story arc gets told in 2 hours now, I'm like, you probably have a weak story.
Yeah.
But shows like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, maybe Andor, they have the time to really develop a story much better than a movie ever could.
Mm-hmm. I'm rewatching Breaking Bad again. I forgot how great it was. Like,
it's even better in binge form.
Did you like El Camino?
The movie, I wanted to like it. I didn't think it was that special.
Oh, I loved it.
It's almost like you're amped up for the slow. I really enjoyed the kind of slow roll of a lot of parts of Breaking Bad. Like some people disliked it. And, I'll admit, like that Fly episode where like the Fly episode was stupid. That was too much. But there were other episodes where it's all
great. I love that episode.
I hated the Fly episode, and it's more palatable in binge form, though. That was one of the 3 episodes I saw that day.
But like there's other slow roll ones where it's like Jesse spending the whole episode in that crack den with that little kid, and then the guy gets his head crushed by the ATM or whatever. Like that was like a tremendous slow roll, like building the suspense, like showing like all the intricacies of what he's dealing with right now. But the Camino, I didn't think it was that great.
The payoff of that, if you guys don't remember the storyline, then after the ATM machine fell on the crackhead's head, suddenly Jesse was regarded as like the biggest badass in the meth dealer scene. Everyone had this respect because they thought Jesse somehow did it, like used an ATM machine to kill a rival. And now all his rivals are I don't know, scared of him.
The Hank scene, the second to last season, that was like the most holy shit moment for me. That was like right up there for like with the Ned Stark situation.
And I love that they killed him.
My stomach in that scene. I was like, oh my God.
Because
I couldn't believe it.
Some plot armor felt like it was developing, right? Hank went to, I think he was literally in Mexico, and there's a tortoise with a bomb on it, and everyone dies but Hank. And it's like, what is this, Battle of the Bastards? How is he surviving this horse shit? But
I love it when shows can really get me like scared. I was so attached to Hank as a character. Like you get so attached to him along the way because he's this hard ass and he's kind of he's obviously like aloof to everything that Walter's doing, but by the end it's like this real kind of dark turn to him. He becomes obsessed, but along the way, like his whole situation with the minerals, like it just like you get like all of a sudden you're just like so attached to him.
His wife has some sort of personality disorder with her klepto issue. Like when she gets stressed, she's kleptomaniac. She's a habitual liar.
I hated Hank.
And you hated Hank?
Fuck Hank. When he died, I was like,
open your mouth.
Yeah, fucking take it, Hank. You could. Hank, I loved my favorite moment. It was like the peak of Breaking Bad to me is when he sits there with his like thief of a wife, and they have to watch that DVD that Walter has sent them, and they're like, oh no, he's smarter than us. I'm like, that was when the show peaked. And then it's like downhill because then the Walter kind of falls apart heading forward.
Yeah.
I got to take off at 6, and I fucking really want to get your guys'